Welcome back to the Ballad of Sewer Boy. I hope you enjoyed your intermission. Welcome back to the most delayed and behind League video that simultaneously has the least amount of progress. We've established in the last video that Leagues is like drinking original recipe for Loco, but for us we've entered a fever dream caused by drinking the expired NyQuil in the back of the medicine cabinet. We've begun our challenge as an extreme one-chunk Ironman with additional tiers of torture. We took a tour, we stomped and ate some rats, we got the highest skills we'd need with 72 fletching, and then 70 woodcutting just for some sweet League points. That got us to our next relic, which we can barely use, but it also made us spin the wheel of torture, and we ended up with 2 punishments. We are now an extreme one-chunk wiki-locked hardcore UI-locked Ironman. Actually, my father was extreme one-chunk wiki-locked hardcore UI-locked Ironman. Call me Sewer Boy. Let's get into it. The next task I want to complete is the cooking one, so we're going to have to slaughter quite a few rats. This time at least we have some sort of weapon and armor, but I'm sure the meat quality would be worse now that it's not hand-tenderized from all the punching. We take our next full inventory of air-fried rat jerky and try to take down the guards that patrol in front of the palace. And we do, earning 40 defense in the process and equipping our homemade U-shield. But eventually their state-of-the-art armor and weaponry wean down my meat pile, and I must return back to the sewers and face up against foes who are a bit more my speed. The clumsy low-level zombies in the long hallway. They give us our next weapon upgrade, a bronze short sword, which at this point, everyone else in the game has their first dragon weapon, but we're going to be grateful for this bronze short sword. This will help us in our rat farming. It's going to slice down rats quicker, and I think give a more even cut of meat. But at this point, we aren't burning anything in our relic air fryer anymore. I'm just going to light a fire right in front of my sewer hole for the most part to cook the meat. Just do some Sewer Boy tailgating for Sewer Boy Fall. But we will head into the kitchen for this special occasion, which is getting 58 cooking to make a pita. Really just as exciting as it sounds. Not very. I love pita, and I'm always happy to have more bread around me, but this is the real disappointing part. I can't eat it plain, which would be a wonderful snack after all the rat meat I've eaten over the past week. But even worse, I can't combine it with my cooked rat steaks and make a rodent pita pocket. It's a pita! You can put anything in there! Let me make my rat sandwich, please! And just boost the healing by a little bit. But no. We've run into another one of our digital cell bars. It's just another thing that we're locked from doing in the game. And as I said, we can't question why. There's nothing we can do but delve further into our prison. Let's try to take out one of the literal big bads in this chunk, the Moss Giants. We have base 40 stats, which feels like an appropriate benchmark to start these fellas. Moss Giants are going to have the best gear for us until we hit the boss shopaholic Bryofita herself. I can't look at their drop table to see what they drop and the rates, but from my experience, I think we can get some mithril weapons and a black shield, and possibly a helm too. We go with a backpack full of loose rat jerky, and after eating all of it, we're only able to just take down one single Moss Giant. This bodes great, because I'll need to take down like roughly 120, just for one chance at Bryofita, and that is definitely not doable by now. So it doesn't bode well, obviously I'm being sarcastic. Hopefully we can quickly get the armor and better weaponry we'll need from them sooner into the grind. It's much better than what we have, that's for sure. Fuck it, let's fight Smokey the Bear. The secret entrance, which is just a ladder to Smokey's cage, is by some zombies and skeletons in the deep sewers. Maybe this will be a good challenge for the level we're at now. And I really hope that bears can give us meat that would heal just a little bit more than rat. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I don't think that bear, cow, and rat meat are completely interchangeable. Every piece of seafood in the game is unique and offers a different healing bonus, so I hope bears just don't give the same cut of T-bone steak, but it looks like they do. The item name is different. It does say raw bear steak, but it looks exactly the same. We'll wait until we fire this though. It's like most animals just give you generic name brand meat. It's meat. Don't think about it. So I'm not sure if training up here will be worth it, but this zombie layer down here definitely will. These dudes are a bit higher level at 24 than the level 11 clumsy ones back there in the winding hallway, but they have a different drop table, and there is a single mine rune spawn back here. I think this is the best way I can train magic. by waiting for this single mine rune to respawn and then getting air runes from the zombies. The abundance in the sewers comes to our aid again with these endless runes. And then the zombies join in and bequeath us an iron mace. We're moving out of bronze, folks. 2 weeks in and we have iron weaponry. We're making absolutely massive gains. Meat is ready, and it's just generic meat, indistinguishable from beef or rodent, and will just heal us 3 hit points. So it's confirmed to be our best healing option for the entire chunk. I can complain and wish all I want that my higher cooking level should allow me to cook the steak at a perfect medium rare, basted in an herb butter from the herbs I've gained from the zombies, let it rest for 5 minutes, and enjoy for more than 3 fucking hit points. That will never be the case. This virtual prison won't let us taste that goodness. So we'll just have to watch those overly sexually cooking TikToks through our pipe bars and wonder, what if? We go back to the easy zombies closer to the entrance to the sewers and get a bronze med helmet. Another huge upgrade for us, though it's sad not to rock the Blue Wizard hat as much. With this low-end head production, our homemade U-Shield, and the base 40-ish combat stats we've gained by now, we mostly don't need to heal to fight the level 11 zombies, which genuinely feels like a huge accomplishment. I am looking for a more formidable foe that I can fight endlessly. Paranoid pangs of fear that I will wipe and lose everything to basic enemies go through my brain constantly. And now that I see how long it's taken me to get even the most basic equipment, I'm doubly afraid. A nice bonus from the weak zombies is that they drop quite a bit of herbs. And with my Production Prodigy 12-point boost to herb lore, I can clean quite a few of them. I drop them instantly, and I have no other materials to make potions, but at least I can watch another skill go up. Well, I also can't do that. I'm not currently seeing the XP. Ever since I turned that setting off, I've only been getting some of the level up screens. Like just now, I missed that I got my herb lore to level 6. What a momentous occasion I missed out on. Feels like I missed my kid's 6th birthday. There's been a lot of violence since we finished our tree grinds on the surface. So let's go back up to where the sun shines to do some violence up there. We need to get a steel mace drop from Black Knights, which would be a great improvement from our iron one we currently have. This seems like a great way to improve our combat ability. It's November 25th. I am 10 days into the league, and I am still using weapons you can equip when you literally boot up the game. If I get that steel mace, then boom, now we're talking. You need to have 5 attack to wield that. We're talking about infinitesimally small growth here, but we will take it, goddammit. Black Knights are higher level enemies, which is saying quotes, I don't know the lore at all here, that patrol the border of the wilderness. Fuck, they put up a fight. I have to immediately go to church to regain my prayer points. One huge boon in this chunk is that I have a pretty accessible altar, and then one bonus one because fuck it, 2 churches. I can quickly refill prayer, so I usually do have a prayer up. A small bonus, but with this scavenge fit, I need to take everything I can. I can try to take down one more knight, a showdown with every piece of equipment from hard-earned drops and levels that were the highest I've ever reached on my first account all those years ago, against a very basic enemy. Riveting stuff, folks. Eventually, I do it. No mace. This is boring, let's go back down to the sewers. Our old pal Weak Zombies drop some more herbs, and we get our real herb lore score up to 8. But in reality, we're at a 20 now with Production Prodigy, so I can clean herbs like Aerolanders, which to me feels huge right now. It's the next day. We've been going at the level 11 zombies here, just grabbing the rogue mine runes that appear in the back of the sewers. That the palace wizard just keeps flushing down the toilet for some reason, and grabbing air rune drops from the nearby zombies. We get enough runes to cast 52 airstrikes. This is massive. We're unlocking a new skill, hopefully new tasks, hopefully a lot of levels. Who else would be a better magic lab rat than Rat? I do forget to turn off auto retaliate, so I follow up my first airstrike with a mace slam to the head to poor Rat. I don't have any staff, so I do have to go back and forth from the spell book to the enemy. But it's still novel and fun for me at this point. It almost feels like I'm really casting fake magic. At the end of this, I'm level 16 in magic. I'm really happy with that. That feels like massive growth. And it gets me closer to casting the next tier spells with chaos runes, which moss giants could give us a slow supply of. We soon get total level 500 with our 46th hit point level. We get a task for using the attack and defense prayer at the same time. Our burial of pretty much every bone we've received from every soul we've stolen has gotten us to 34 prayer, not too shabby. We're getting close to the production prayer zone. Hey, it's the next day and we're gonna fight some cops. Maybe the best enemy to train on right now are the guards that patrol the north of Iraq. They're so close to the church that I can take a few out and then confess my sins to regain prayer points and do it all again. They're still a little tough to keep fighting with my negligible armor, and they're not given great jobs. I try my hand at the Black Knights as well, but no dice. Again, I don't mean to complain here. I'm taking what I've been given. This isn't a complaint, but a wish, a curie, something that's puzzling me. We see both of these enemies wearing specific armor, but I'm pretty positive it will never drop. I'm not saying it should drop often, though the idea of defeating this knight in a tough fight and watching as the armor that I so badly crave, that would single-handedly get me to the next phase in this chunk, just fades away and becomes a fucking grass seed. Just have it be like a rare drop, but there, I can see you wearing black pants. I just love to wear your black pants. Let me wear your pants, man. I haven't been recording all my random events, but I've been getting them. From one, I picked up this nice ruby ring, which looks great on me. I play a game of pinball and get 5 rubies that I cannot use at all. I give it to the church. After some more cop fighting, I'm feeling pretty good about having a showdown with the Moss Giants again. We've learned, we've grown, we've been to church a lot. It's time for a rematch. We also have our magic mushroom teleporter that will take us back to church, once we're out of faith. So that makes it a bit easier to get through. I can take down just one Moss Giant a trip comfortably, and that's with pockets full of Remy's Slim Jims. We also get the Beekeeper random event and have a new best in fashion leg slot with these sleek white skinny pants. They're no black plate legs, but at least our knees are covered. No massive drops so far, but we have gotten a few law runes. And then we do it. We get it, we get something. A black square shield, finally. A 7-point improvement for all the defense stats we need right now. I hope it would make me last much longer against the Moss Giants, but it doesn't seem like it, and we have to retreat shortly after. I sometimes cool down the Moss Giant run with the higher level zombies in the back, while also being sure to pick up my toilet runes. I break my only friend, Prison Pete, out of jail, and he gives me 8 law runes, which are starting to give me a solid law rune stack. At first I thought it was a waste of space, but then I realized there's one place I can travel. My house. Thank God property in this game exists as a personal pocket dimension, rather than a physical space I cannot get to. I spend my time in church praying in gratitude for this. Like some kind of sci-fi libertarian. We're consistently getting 2 kill trips now with the Black Shield, which is still nothing, but at least it's doubled. And with burying the big bones from the big Moss Giants, we can protect from magic now. We are officially in the protection zone. Later, someone asked me where they can cut the web in the sewers to complete the task that I did so long ago. They look like a real beginner, just like me, though already with better headgear than I. This feels like the first real accomplishment of the chunk. The first time I give a tour of the place, watching as my first real friend, I'm sorry, Prison Pete, accidentally goes down the hallway to nowhere, and I guide them through. Get that task, pal. It's 6 days later. I'm back at Moss Giants. At this point, it's starting to feel like the chaos, the madness, the confines of my digital cell that I sit down and enter every day has broken out of my monitor and begun to entrap me in the real world. Or maybe it always had. My work has begun to go past busy and towards completely unimaginable. I work from home in the very same seat where I pilot Sewer Boy, and for work I use the very same editing software that I stitch together these RuneScape silly clips. I'm beginning to resent everything about Adobe Premiere. The long clips in my timeline appearing to me like horizontal jail bars, the very same as the 90s pipes I had a nightmare about, and I feel beginning to suffocate me. I don't think I've reached full madness yet. It hasn't even been a month. I haven't been playing that much, though if I'm not playing, I'm just in the trenches with work. But there is a possibility that I've opened a Jumanji-like rift between the sewers and my real-life New York City apartment. I haven't seen any rats, thankfully. I do have 2 cats to help me on that front. And it's not zombies or Moss Giants or mysterious runes showing up in my toilet. It's the fucking Beekeeper pants. Ever since I started wearing them, I shit you not, some mornings there's just been a rogue bee in my apartment. I don't know where they're coming from, but it's been getting more and more consistent. I've seen about 7 bees now in my kitchen. I wake up and they're angrily buzzing right above my stove, trying to escape this new prison they've been locked in. I'm gonna try not to think about it. Over this week, we've stacked up another paltry pile of runes, and this time we can cast 41 Earth Strikes. and we use them to weaken the Moss Giants. And well, eventually we have to go back to airstrikes to finish them off, but we fully take down one with magic only. And we're rewarded with some law runes. Our current magic level? Unknown. The next day, we get an open casting call to join the mime show, hopefully getting us another fashionable piece of clothing, or more importantly, a collection log slot, which is one of the remaining tasks we can check off as we go, just from random events, and hopefully something soon from these mossy giants. But no clothes, we earn an emote. Back at the Moss Giants, our budding wizardry is rewarded with a magic staff drop. No longer do we have to go back and forth with our casting. Oh, wait, what's that? No, that wasn't from me, actually. That was from someone with endgame gear that I'm not even aware of that killed every single Moss Giant in this area in under 2 seconds. We get useless seeds. The mushroom teleportation is one of the few boons we've received from the Sewer Boy Fall Leagues, and even that brushes up against the chunk rules I've set in place. Sometimes the Tool Leprechaun walks a single tile outside of the chunk bounds, and I teleport to the surface to find myself in the black and white void that surrounds my chosen home. Again, Council of the Chosen Chunkmen, I hope this does not find me in violation of the code, because I'm not going to stop using this perk. Maybe if I had the Trickster Agility shoes, I'd be okay with running all the way there and back. And at this point, I'd have at least level 70 or 80 agility. That's becoming a big regret. It's been another week. Today's my birthday. I tried to take the day off work to give myself a little break, get outside for sure, but also get back inside to continue the grinds. But work does not allow me to take the day. It's just too busy. So I'll have to just pop in and out in RuneScape when I can to double juggle tasks. And I get another Beekeeper random, which by the way, not a fan at all of this. The bees are doubling in real life now. I'm seeing at least 2 a day now. We're at like a total of 16-ish bee spottings. Something is happening. There's some kind of tunnel from some fucking pipe that are bringing bees into my real life, and I don't like it. I want to open the window to let them out, but I don't want to risk having the window screen be open and give my cats an opportunity to run away. So I go with the second most humane option, which is sucking them into a vacuum. I don't know if they're still alive in there. I hope not, because then I'd have a vacuum with 16 live bees. We do get a new collection log item, our Beekeeper's Top. Now we're exactly matching our non-League's Wiki locked character, and honestly, I should buy this protecting clothing for me in real life. We have 85 more spells to cast, so we show up looking like Gandalf if he got his laundry mixed up and get to level 30. It's the next day. Just like that, the ill-fitting Beekeeper smock is gone, and now I'm rocking a zombie top from that random event where I dig up graves. I think the top just shows off my arms more, just looks a little more Sewer Boy. And I'm hoping this will stop the swarm of bees from gravitating to me in real life. But no dice so far. We do get a task though for 5 collection items. Making myself a hardcore count has actively altered my mental state. I'm on guard against the Moss Giants, overly cautious there. And even fighting against the big rats, I'm worried that I'm gonna slowly lose health and then die in and lose everything. It's a month into the league, we're almost halfway done, and drop-wise, I just have an iron mace, a black shield, and a bronze med helm. And you'll take them from my cold dead hands. I know how hard it was to earn these. There's been a more sinister hidden effect from removing the UI from the game. I've gone into more of a haze. I'm just going through the motions, not knowing what level I'm at. When the game doesn't let you know your accomplishments, you have to reward yourself, and I'm not good at that. So instead, self-doubt and criticism comes in instead, like the fact that I'm a month in, and I still have so much ground to make up. The goal of completing this chunk, I think, is still doable, but I'm realizing how momentous it really is. If I have difficulty fighting more than 3 Moss Giants without having to restock on rat meat, gaining enough keys to fight Bryophyta realistically at least dozens of times to get all the drops. Hell, I don't even know if I can fight Bryophyta at all. It's like instead of the nice pop-ups about how much XP I gained each time I get a kill, more dread creeps into my body. I'm a month in, like a day and a half of in-game time, and in theory, I'm not alone. If this goes well, or even if this doesn't, I'll be watched. This is an escape attempt in front of an audience. I don't want to be still stuck in my handcuffs by the time the show is over. We are still grinding though. We have our highest rune total so far, 118 mine runes, most of which were recovered by standing under a toilet. The next perk I could unlock would let me be able to buy an infinite amount of runes at once. We're grabbing ours from the toilet, a minute at a time. And the zombies are helping us out by dropping them sometimes as well. We have 118 mine runes, 136 air runes, and 301 earth runes, which were also toilet drops. We have 11 chaos runes in the Moss Giants, so we can cast a few earth strikes, which is huge. We get magic level 34, We get cosmic runes I don't think we need. And we get our last big pile of big bones before we reach prayer level 43. We can now protect from melee. These runes get us all the way to magic level 39. And then we go into melee range to show off our new prayer and get a medium task. I dare say we've entered a new phase in the account with our protection from melee prayer. This means we can exponentially improve our Moss Giant trip count as long as we can do one thing. Prayer flick. I was glad the Wiki series hasn't gotten here yet because it's an embarrassing point of contention. I don't really know how to prayer flick. And I'm not sure if I'm allowed to teach myself how to do it or get a metronome plugin because that would technically violate the Wiki locked rules. It's not a feature in game, I think, technically. Unless somewhere out there there's an NPC that teaches you prayer flicking in a Parappa the Rappa style tutorial. Can there be? Maybe it's too cruel that I'm not teaching myself these skills because the situation is dire. And with this skill I could change the entire trajectory of my run. But even if I could perfectly learn it, which I'm still gonna try, just all in my head I guess, it's a much more active task. I need to be dropped in every moment. I need to care more about in-game ticks than real-life minutes. That's going to be a bit hard with work. The more slightly AFK training method I can get, the better, so I can just try to do the working man's juggle. But even my shoddy prayer flicking attempts are a massive increase. I am taking significantly less damage and staying for so much longer. Which lets us see this moment. Hey. How'd they know? Is it so clear I'm on such a hopeless task? That the only possibility is that I'm doing it for entertainment? That I'm a clown? I mean, they're not wrong. Usually most of the units that run through here either go into Bryophyte or just to demolish some Moss Giants. Look at me in silence, maybe puzzled, as sometimes I have an equal combat level to them. This very first Protect from Melee trip, I finally get it. I get my first mithril weapon. It's a spear, which would lower our defense because it's two-handed, but if we're praying Protect from Melee, it's not even a problem, is it? We take no damage! We're finally becoming more powerful. The runes and magic levels we gained are also going to allow us to unlock some tasks and a new sense of freedom by buying property. We can buy a house from a real estate agent in our chunk, and we have the levels and runes to cast Teleport to House. And we're there. 2 tasks completed. And another for building a room, even though we can never build anything here for now. So something weird happened that is so in my favor. I randomly got a combat achievement and a medium task for completing a combat achievement. I checked it out and it said I got the Elite Demonic Rebound combat achievement against the Abyssal Sire for using the Vengeance spell to reflect the damage from the Abyssal Sire's explosion back to him. I don't know any of those words, and as far as I could remember, I don't remember doing that. You don't tell a goddamn soul, you hear me, okay? We need any points we can get to get closer to that next relic. And we're close enough that we should now talk about what our next relic would be. I mean, it's obvious. One relic fire sale would be game-changing. It lets you take infinite supplies from any store for free. You get to buy anything for free for a life coupon, but there are no stores in this chunk. Well, the garden cop does sell me marked up gardening supplies, but I don't think he accepts the coupon. And what good would infinite rakes do me? So our option is the Banker's Note relic. We can note and unnote any item at will, which will give us infinite rat meat as long as we farm it and cook it ourselves. If our last tier was an air fryer, think of this one as the ultimate vacuum sealer. That will make us be able to sneak in as many vacuum sealed rat fillets into the Moss Giant area, and eventually for Bryophyte. We're only 310 points away. The next day, as I'm refilling on prayer, I get the quiz show random event, and upon opening my mystery box in Father Lawrence's canonically born cathedral, I get a steel plate body. It's as if the in-game deities heard me say nothing good happens on the surface. This is by far the biggest defense gain I've ever received in the game. How is the congregation still sleeping after this miracle? This is something out of a mega church routine where someone praying in front of the crowd gets a random lotto ticket and then scratches it off to win the jackpot. That would kill there, literally. People would be passing out in the pews. It gives us a 30+ defense bonus. Also, over these past few days, I've begun my most absurd grind yet. Raking the farming patch to gain whatever farming XP we can. This is a long shot, but if I'm going to be slowly training my woodcutting skill, still with an iron axe, to get to level 80 woodcutting so we can get a big task completed. Just hoping the birds decide not to drop me some rambling conspiracy treasure map, but instead a tree seed. If we can grow a single tree, That will be a huge boost to farming and can give us some tasks. So we have a new cycle. Go down to fight the moss giants, mostly protect from meleeing, teleport back to the farm patch to get a little bit of farming XP, refill prayer, and repeat. We get our attack up to 60 as well to get overall base 60s, and we get another big drop from moss giants. Steel helm. It looks like we're in full steel except our pants, which are white skinny jeans, of course. I have another breakthrough. Our farming grind would be so much easier if we had more patches to rake, and I realize I've been staring at quite a few overgrown farming patches right next to me, the Queen's Garden. I've not talked to my chunk mom at all in this time, so what better way to make it up than by weeding her garden for her? I know this is the premise of a quest that I don't have the farming level yet to do, but I'm just doing Her Majesty a service. I go to rake it and she immediately calls me a peasant, and I'm to report to her. After tons of rude dialogue, I'm told I do not meet the requirements, which are level 25 farming and the Creature of Fen Constrained quest. I'm so desperately hoping that if I reach 25 farming, I'll at least be allowed to start the quest and exponentially improve my farming training method. Back at the quiz show, looks like I'm on the Tournament of Champions. They keep inviting me back, and this time I just win a bucket. It's December 17th. I'm at farming level 15. I'm going between cutting oak logs and yews, trying to get both good experience and a higher drop rate for birds and nests. No luck so far, but I finally have just gotten the ability to grow an oak tree. I don't love hanging by the farming tree. It's the main place I see people teleport in and out with their endgame gear. I'm not jealous, I just feel an intense pang of resentment and desire towards anyone I see further along in the game than me. Next day, back at the Moss Giants, I get what is my final drop from them, a mithril sword. It's just a tad worse in the offensive department, but it allows me to wield my shield again, which will be great for when I don't want to be actively prayer flicking or constantly going back to refill my prayer. Training our magic again, we get magic level 41, and using the little death runes we've gained from Moss Giant drops, we cast a blast spell. I've also had a little herb lore scheme that's finally paid off. A very worrisome prospect about the Bryophyta fight is that she inflicts poison. Either I'm gonna have to have my vacuum-sealed rat jerky and hope that endlessly housing down rodent meat will be enough to combat poison, or have some anti-poison potions available. The best plan I could come up with was to hold on to at least one Marintil herb in the hopes that the Dr. Jekyll random event would come to me and ask me for it and give me an anti-poison potion. And he does. So we are equipped now for at least one Bryophyta fight. My luck is continuing to turn. We've gotten 2 huge drops that did go unrecorded. I'm sorry things have not been captured. A lot of the times as I'm doing the working man's juggle, I'm just going back and forth so often that it's gonna be mostly screen recording my job, which I think I signed something that wouldn't let me do that. We get a longbone, which fills a collection log spot and does a cool rare drop. We won't be able to get the construction experience from it, so we just bury it in the church as tribute. We've also gotten a willow seed from a yew tree, so we just need to get to farming level 30 and we can plant a tree. Once we plant that tree, we can get some tasks done involving willow logs, which should be about 90 points total. And we're only 210 points away from our relic upgrade. December 21st, we've gotten our first mossy key. We're not ready for Bryophyta just yet, but very soon. And we get 25 farming just from raking the tree patch. I try to rake the Queen's Garden again, but after going through the opening berating dialogue, I still do not meet the requirements. I will not be able to rake these weeds. They're just part of the prison made to mock me. With our combat stats in the high 60s and our new armor, it's possible to fight the Moss Giants for a little bit longer. We stack up some runes yet again. We load up on high protein, low healing rat meat. Let's try Bryophyta once, just to see where we're at. So thankfully I have fought her a few times before, but genuinely she is the extent of my bossing in OSRS, along with Obor. I've only done the most basic PvE, so I am worried. But one successful boss kill gives us the chance for a best-in-slot gear, which would be fantastic as a chunk task, but more importantly would make future grinding so much easier. Any piece of rune equipment will snowball us through this grind. Let's do it. I'm gonna try magic in this fight, using Protect from Magic while using as many bolt spells as I can before I have to downgrade to Strikes. It's going better than I think until we get to the goddamn growthlings. I try not to waste my runes, so I swap to melee, but I'm just not quick enough with the axe to cut them down, and I can't prayer flick while they're swarming me. I make it past the first little horde, and I get Bryophyta to around half health, but then the bastards return and overwhelm me, and I panic and exit the arena. So I've been continuing to chop down these yew trees, running back and forth from them to the farming patch roughly every 15 to 20 minutes. and we get 80 wood cutting and a hard task completed. Happy New Year! It's January 3rd. Boy, did the end of the year get tough. I believe that December should be a fake month. We should give up even pretending to go through the motions of work and life. Every year when Christmas time comes around, I'm incredibly excited. And then I realize I don't actually particularly like Christmas. Honestly, I'm a bit of a Grinch, but I realize Christmas just has the best agent. Because, I mean, obviously the movies, music, it's got industry connections, but also it's the holiday that gives you the most time off. I just crave that time off so much. And it's like this year, nobody got the memo that we fake our way through December. I don't know if it's just me, but I was absolutely slammed through work. And come Christmas Eve, once I have the time off, now I have to go visit family. And unfortunately, I did not bring Sewer Boy with me, and I get back just in time to go back to work. Things have been stressful and tough. The bees have gotten worse. There's like 4 a day at least now. I've lost track. We've gone over 50. There's been at least 50 bees in my apartment. I need a break. And I haven't gotten it through RuneScape, I'll be honest. It hasn't been an escape. Rather, it's been an attempted escape from the sewers and this chunk. I've kept up the usual grinds, the rats for food, the zombies for herbs and runes, the moss giants for everything else. I've gotten another bossy key for Bryophyta's mossy wardrobe. I'm also now taking down the guards in front of the Varrock Palace. One is a statement of rage against the chunk that holds me, but also to get some runes. These guards drop them less consistently, but they do have a larger array of them, including my only source of fire runes, which are nice for alchemy training. They're also so very close to the church and my soon-to-be willow tree patch, as I keep on raking it. After burying hundreds of cot bones, I reach another huge milestone. 52 prayer. We've reached our prayer goal with less than 10 days to spare. We're combat level 86, and we complete the triple task. We're only 90 points away from the vacuum sealer of our dreams. Exactly the amount of points we will get when we reach 30 farming. Everything is coming just in time. It's January 8th. We've been fighting every guard we can see while tenderly treating our patch, and we finally get it. 30 farming. The final stage of the account begins. We can still do it. I buy my supplies from the garden cop, who thankfully does not mind what I'm doing to his coworkers. Buy a trowel, a plant pot, a watering can. I water my seedling. I get some compost. I wait for the plant to grow. And I need a spade. Fuck. No. I try to buy it from garden cop and he does not sell spades. Why? No, I checked the chunk website for any chance there's a spade drop or a drop in the chunk, and there isn't. We're locked. We can't do it. We can't get those 90 points. All that raking and farming was for nothing. This broke me. How did I forget I need a spade? This broke me. I start to continue the moss giant grinds, hoping maybe 100 combat level achievement and some other bonuses can get me over. They don't. They won't. I'll realize I'll have to lower my expectations again. Set the goal a bit lower. In order to beat this chunk, I'll have to defeat Bryophyta dozens of times, if I'm lucky, requiring dozens of anti-potions. And Dr. Jekyll has only approached my cell once. I mean, the great thing about our imagination is it can change. It's a liquid that fits the container of our circumstance and then breaks beyond it. I can still have a triumphant victory in this chunk. Sewer Boy can still be a hero. If I defeat Bryophyta even once, what a triumph that would be! I've gained so many levels, the best gear I feasibly can. There's nothing else I can do but prep a bit more and then send it. It's 2:30 a.m., January 10th, the dawn of the final day of leagues. The final day of Sewer Boy Fall, which, yes, the Sewer's Fall does go all the way to mid-January. I have 2 doses of anti-potion left, a various gathering of runes, 10 pieces of perfectly cooked rat meat. You've never seen a better fucking cook in your life. Look at that medium rare. 2 mossy keys. And a dream. We can do this. We're gonna try to go for melee. We've gathered so many of those stats. There could be a better way. Getting to our first gaggle of growthlings, it's not going as well. We're at half health and Bryophyta's lost only about a quarter. I moved back to get away from her close range attacks, which may have not been the move, but we're trying to be tactical. We switched to magic for this next phase. We're at our final dose of poison. A minute left to take her out. Another gaggle of growthings go, but eventually we take them down and try to attack Bryophyte again, and fuck! More growthlings. They just keep coming. We're not gonna do it. I teleport away, I immediately see that fucking patch that just started the downfall, and I go to sleep. The next morning, I go to log in to say goodbye to the chunk, to do a final tour of the sewers and hidden crevices and nooks I've grown to love, to count all the levels I've gained, the enemies I've slain, the drop rates. But we're locked out. They've shut down the servers. Sewer Boy Fall has officially ended. We can't go home. That's a fitting end, huh? Didn't get to say goodbye. We'll just have to reflect ourselves. I did say this would be a tragedy. We all could be disappointed in Sewer Boy and in myself this very moment. Total playtime, I was at 4 days and some change. It's been a few months, you know. I did not get a bronze trophy. I didn't even get to the tier 3 relics. My best weaponry was a mithril sword. I never had any real pairs of pants. What a life. But why do that? Why think of any time as wasted? I don't think I would have remembered my league's journey at all if it wasn't my sewer adventure. I would have bounced between too many options and not taken away as much. I had no moments of indecision and being overwhelmed, at least, you know? I logged in, I knew what I was gonna do. I mean, I do have regrets for my decisions, let that be known. If I had been a little trickster, I would have unlocked a whole other dungeon and it would have been a completely different series. But it wouldn't be Sewer Boy. He wouldn't have his favorite air fryer. What's a Sewer Boy without an air fryer? Nothing. No one. I'm proud of myself for committing to the bit. Sewer Boy is a boy made from a bit, forged in commitment and determination from the silliest possible thing to do. I know I may not have lived up to the Council of Chunkmen in my skill and my adherence to the rules and game knowledge, but I hope I committed to the bit enough. And that's all that matters. I mean, I even added more torture onto myself and I held myself to that. I'll distinctly remember this area more than any other video game area I've ever been to. I'll always think the best way to train combat in a new character is to go to that corner in the sewers and stomp rats. Okay, I'm sorry, Waterfall Quest or whatever gets you 30 levels at once. But no, I'm sorry, it's fun to watch the early levels come in one at a time. I'm sorry, okay? Better to have 30 little bites than one big bite. I'll love the hallway to nowhere. That will trick people that run in even with fire capes. I'll always remember at least giving one person the correct directions. They may have a better league score, much better weapons, but they didn't know that you gotta run around the river in the sewers. Sewer folk know that, that's for sure. I'll appreciate the random item spawns in the sewers, grateful for the Varrock wizards that are constantly clogging their toilets with magic runes. Bob's house, well, I won't miss this, I still don't know anything about the man. I feel like I did my part against the growing Varrock Cop City. And the bees finally left. That has nothing to do with this, but it's been like a week now since I've seen a bee in the apartment. I'm gonna appreciate how important equipment is in the game, I guess, because even at pretty high levels, it felt like I couldn't do shit. Rather than the power fantasies that leagues normally let you fulfill, I lost power, so I can appreciate it again. I did not get to drink Four Loko. I got to drink piss. But even the bad is great looking back. I mean, I did not think it back then. It sucked to have plans completely cut off without alternatives, or to understand how big of a mistake you made choosing your relic, because in the end, that resentment can be channeled into some really fun rivalries. I have some nemesises. Nemesises? Nemesi? Either way, I got tons now. Bryophyte, I'm coming for you in your walk-in closet. And with some actual healing food this time, okay? I'm going on a meat cleanse after this for sure. I'm going pescatarian. Garden Cop, fuck you. I know you had a shovel somewhere and refused to sell it to me because maybe I kept attacking your coworkers. Fuck you. Hey, Queen. Fuck you. Okay, can I not just weed your plants? I'm a peasant and I'm asking you to do peasant work and you won't even let me do that? You resent Dad for adopting me. So what if it's a tragedy, okay? I didn't accomplish any of my goals. My chunk parents don't love me. You didn't get to see the league's end in a new exciting area, wearing impressive gear, accomplishing any goals. Tragedies can still be fun if you enjoy your way down and down and down a twisting and turning water slide down the crappy 3D Microsoft pipes that haunted you then and comfort you now. Down and down and down into the Varrock sewers. I'll remember my time there fondly, and I know Sewer Boy will. I hope you did too. Thanks for watching.